We have the business casual or the business dresses, and then you have like, you know, the day dresses. You can pretty much mix them up if you want. Jeans. Jeans are better off, I guess for some people do things differently, depends on how much space you have. Some people will hang up jeans and again put them with the trousers. If you have enough shelf space like this, it's best to actually just fold them neatly and pile them up. Again, according to color, if you can get that, that's fine, it works. Same thing with t-shirts. I find there's nothing worse than having tees just messed up and roughed up all over the place. If you can get them folded pretty neatly like that, then it helps. It's really nice. Again, from dark to light. Saves you a lot of time in the mornings. Yeah, pretty much have the same things with the tank tops and the rest of your t-shirts. In terms of like actual shirt tops, you've got the shirts, you've got the blouses. Again, arrange them in order if you can. With the blocks, keep them together, light to dark. With the florals, some people are pretty anal and do like short sleeve all together and long sleeve all together. If you want to do that, again, that's fine. It's entirely up to you. There's some things to note though, and again, this is if you really have time and you want it really looking pretty, but it's well worth it. Make sure you have lots of things sorted out. So for instance, with your shirts, when you have them up, like I'm really bad, they do need to be buttoned up. If you can help it, have them ironed before they go in, just saves you a lot of time. Most lightweight fabric, things like this, jerseys, make sure you have them on like a sturdy hanger. If there are things that are jersey-like, please use a padded hanger. I don't have a padded hanger here, but they help because if you hang jersey up with things like this or the metal wires, you'll have bulges and bumps that will never leave your clothes and they ruin them. So be very careful with that. Okay, now the rest of it is pretty easy. You know, the bags, the shoes. Most times with the shoes, this is nice and pretty for set. But I don't have this at home. But anyway, what tends to happen is obviously you have racks where you can place your shoes. Please try not to pile them on top of the other. Most people just throw shoes into a closet, boom, right on top of the other. Everything's like that. If that's dirty, that's dirtying that one. And you just come away with really horrible, naff-looking shoes at the end of the day. Accessories, most people tend to have boxes. If you have space, pile your accessories into little boxes wherever you can. You'll find there's always space if you have an uncluttered wardrobe or uncluttered space where you keep your clothes. Okie dokie? All right, now, how do we get to do a whole bunch of this? Fine, so we've sorted out the wardrobe. All right, the colors are right, the styles are right, and you step back and you're like, oh, okay. Now you can see what you have and what you don't have. But here's actually a better way to even do that. I'll be back in a minute. Let me tidy this up. I hate my wardrobe, nasty. Okay, so we're done with the wardrobe audit, but how do we know that everything we have in there is going to really work for us? How do we know we have everything to suit every single occasion in our lives? Okay, here's one foolproof way to check that. We have to drop what we call our lifestyle/daily activities list versus our wardrobe contents list. Now, how do we do that? There's 5 categories that we work with. There's work, there's home, there's social/entertainment, leisure and hobbies, and errands. Now, what does that mean? It means that we have to sit down and think about this. For work, how much time do we spend at work? Is it 10% of our time? Is it 0 because we don't have a job? Is it 70%? Note that. How much time do we spend at home / looking after children? Is it 2% of our time? Is it 95%? Note that. And the same thing goes for the social/entertainment, leisure and hobbies, and errands. Now, go to your wardrobe and do the exact same thing. What percentage of your wardrobe is used for work? What percentage represents home / looking after children? What percentage represents your social life? And what percent represents the leisure, hobbies, and errands? Now, what you do with that is this. You're able to go and create these pie charts. Now, for some of you, if you can't create the pie charts, are like really cool because you look at them and they're really pretty. On paper, you'd actually see these things as well. But let me show you what it means when we actually have it this way. Now, this is a pie chart we've done. These are the charts we've done for the next style subject. And what we have with her is, as you can see, this is the lifestyle/activities chart, and this is her wardrobe content. For here, you can see she's got 50% dedicated to home, 10% dedicated to social and entertainment, 15% for leisure and hobbies, 5% for errands, and 20% for work. Now, her actual wardrobe content says she's got 40% for home, 35% social entertainment, 5% leisure and hobbies, 10% errands, and 10% for work. Now, if we take a look at just, two of these things. First of all, there's for home, she stays home 50% of the time, but in her wardrobe, she's got 40% clothes. There's a 10% gap there, so it could be she needs to step up and figure, okay, she needs more clothes to stay home. It depends, though. It could be that she likes to stay home in raggedy, whatever stuff, fine, and that's okay. For work, we've got 20%, so she's out working 20% of the time. However, as you can see here, she's only got 10% of her wardrobe dedicated to working clothes. There's a bit of a problem here, because what's going to happen to her is that she's not going to have as much that she should use for work. And what will happen sometimes, because a lot of us do this, is she'll start to dip into other things. So because she doesn't have enough for here, she's going to be tempted to take that raggedy shirt, really, she might decide it looks pretty. Because you know what, I don't have any other shirts, I'll wait. It's really not going to look right, but because you don't have enough, that's what you've been forced to do. So you see, it actually tends to work. When you take a look at this, you're able to fully assess what your life is, and then you're going to be able to balance out your wardrobe to reflect just that, so you don't have any problems. There's also this thing that a lot of us don't know. What they say is that a whole bunch of women only use 20% of their wardrobe 80% of the time, and that's a major reason why this happens. So you're using very little in your wardrobe because you haven't figured out what you have in there that's working for you or not, so that's what you do. Wrong. There's no reason to do that. So by the time you've done your wardrobe audit and you've done this, you should be fine. Now I'm going to talk about capsule wardrobes. Now, what does a capsule wardrobe mean? It pretty much means the mini wardrobe within your wardrobe that has the basic items that you just need to build up on. Okay? Now, I'm going to quickly take you through what you need for a formal capsule wardrobe. By formal, I mean those of you who have corporate clothing and those of you who work and need to have the corporate workwear down to a T. Now, what do we need? First item we need are 5 suits in complementary colors. Now, obviously, it depends on what kind of business you're in. If you're in showbiz, you can wear the pinks and the blues and the purples and the reds. However, for most people who are working in banks and offices, we're talking black, gray, brown, blues. Have 5 of those. If you don't have 5 suits, try to see if you could have 4 jackets and then a combination of skirts or trousers to go with those. We also need tops. You need 6 to 8 dressy tops. Now, you're either doing the dressy tees or the dressy tops, but you have to make sure they're dressy and they work appropriate. We also need dresses. If you have a body shape that works with the corporate dresses, you need about 4 to 6 of those. Again, keep the colors, matching exactly what your work environment wants you to have. You need to have a minimum of 5 pairs of shoes, if you can. If you can't afford 5, have the 2, and we're talking one in like a basic black pump, or a brown, or a gray, depending on what you have in your wardrobe. For a bag, you need to have 2 quality bags. And when we say quality, mid-size bags that don't have tears, cracks, and horrible things in them, and have enough space to carry some things you might need. Not big files. There's a difference between a briefcase and a bag that is used to carry papers, so be careful. And that is pretty much it. Now, here are some dressing tips you need for the corporate worker, okay? You need to appear friendly, but you also need to be approachable. So things like black are okay because obviously they show the authority. Things like red show you're assertive. So be careful. Those of you who want to be doing like the yellows and the whatever, you're a boss.